Hi, everyone. This is Ed Laflamme, head harvester from the East Coast. I have a guest with me that's an expert in sales and marketing. I don't know if he's going to admit that, but he's Bill Benoit. Bill, why don't you introduce yourself and maybe talk about some of the what you're going to bring out to the folks today?
Hey, good morning, Ed. Good to see you. Thanks for having me today. We're just going to talk about the five key things that I've learned over the years that have made sales professionals really, really productive. My background is obviously like you. I came out of the landscape industry. I spent the last 10 years with land care, working on the East Coast and the central part of the country, helping with sales and marketing. And then prior to that, I was a COO at Chapel Valley for a number of years. I was there 11, I think, all total. And then before that, I was the Brickman Group, and
Wow.
where it was like getting a master's in maintenance working there. It's just an outstanding group of folks.
Now,
So
how large were
now,
these,
I'm
Bill,
sorry.
how large were these companies?
When I left Landcare, that we were a little over $300 million.
Wow.
Really big company, had a 26 states, 70 offices. Chapel Valley was about $40 million when I left. I think we were in the 20 millions when I got there. So mostly based in the Mid-Atlantic. And then the Brickman Group was 500 million when I got there and $1 billion when I left. When they sold, I had little to do with that quantum leap, but it was an amazing ride and just a great group of people. So yeah, that'll take you back 30 years anyway.
And now you're out of the landscaping. What are you up to now?
Yes, well, sort of. That's right. Yeah, so now I'm with Boss by Integra. We've got a software platform that a lot of businesses run on, and we started with the barge industry. So we have a number of companies that are over $1 billion that run on our platform, and then we've got about 150 or so landscape companies that run on the platform. Some of the bigger ones like Bland Landscaping in Raleigh. They've been on the platform for a really long time. Started at $12 million, now we're up to $100 million. And the platform just grows with them. So yeah, it's a terrific place, great core values, and we have very paced growth goals. So we want to make sure we don't get out over our skis. We're able to serve everybody that we bring on. So usually we bring on about 20 new clients a year. And it's been great for me at this stage of my career to be able to help others get on a platform and help their business. Having been on the platform in the past, I've seen what it's been able to do for a company. So
That's
that's why I'm
fantastic.
here.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I know
thanks, Greg.
some clients that I work with, they have multiple, different platforms, and the ones that have Boss are very delighted with the service. The customer service is fantastic,
Yeah.
and they're just delighted with every aspect of it. So I can see you. It's very rewarding for you as well. But I know
Oh,
that we didn't
absolutely.
we didn't come to talk about software today or just the landscaping specifically, but we came to talk about sales and marketing. Help us with that, Bill.
Sure. Sales has changed dramatically over the years, but the fundamentals around sales really haven't. So whether you're selling a service, a software, professional services, it still comes down to mastering a handful of core disciplines to be great at sales.
Hmm.
So I was going to outline five for us today, if that's all right.
Oh, that's perfect.
Great. So we'll start with number one, which would be prospecting is the lifeblood of sales. So you can have great closing skills and excellent product knowledge and strong relationships, but none of it matters if you don't consistently create new opportunities. So I think one of the biggest mistakes salespeople make, and I kind of lump a lot of folks into sales people because we know that account managers and branch managers and owners all have to sell, right? So you may not have the title of salesperson, but um, as Scott Brickman told me many years ago, everybody sells. So,
Right.
um, so one of the biggest mistakes salespeople make is to become reactive, right? They become order takers. So they spend all day answering emails, putting out fires, attending internal meetings, fixing the copy machine, whatever. And none of those activities create new revenue, right? We all want to be helpful, but don't fix the copy machine. Get somebody else to fix it. Um, so I'd suggest that the highest value activity in sales is creating new sales conversations. Like my experience is that every sales problem eventually becomes a pipeline problem. So the top salespeople schedule prospecting, they put it on their calendar and they defend it every day. It's just like going to the gym. You have to go every day. If you try to go one day a week for 8 hours, you're going to be really sore if you go to the gym. It's the same thing. You're gonna really struggle if you try to do that one day a week. And your clients are probably going to pull you away from it and everybody else in your team. So scheduling that every day to do some prospecting, time blocking, as they call it, is really helpful. The second one is curiosity beats presentation skills. So I think the best salespeople aren't the best presenters. They're the best detectives or interrogators, right? So you don't want to go into a meeting and just talk about yourself. And you need to show up and be prepared to talk about your company and the services and capabilities, those sort of things. Show up and throw up, as they say. Um, but all the customers really care about is that you can fix their problem. So asking the right questions, it's kind of the tip of the iceberg until they get to know you and trust you. They're not going to share. All the bigger problems are below the surface. But once you get to know them and understand them, they'll start to share those bigger problems. And once you understand them, then you can start to put a solution together. So, as they say, prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. You don't want to
Yeah,
come up with a solution until you really understand the problem.
that's
Um,
excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
Thanks. And I think the third one would be mastering I'm sorry, tactical empathy. So people make buying decisions emotionally and they justify them logically. So it's not, you'd think it'd be the reverse, but it's not. So elite salespeople understand that their prospects' needs and impacts and the impacts of their problems. So tactical empathy is not just agreeing with your prospect, it's demonstrating that you understand their issues from their perspective. And when they feel understood, then they feel like they can trust you, and that trust grows. And then trust is the foundation of all our major sales. Like you wouldn't do business with somebody that you didn't trust.
That's awesome. Great advice.
Thanks. I think number four is helping customers understand the cost of inaction. And we say that all the time at Boss by Integra. Our biggest competitor is not our competitors. It's do nothing.
Mm.
It's the inertia, right? So um, it's that decision to do nothing. So a lot of salespeople think they're competing against another proposal, and sometimes they are, but often they're competing against that inertia. Like uh, as a salesperson, your role isn't to pressure people. You want to help them understand clearly the impacts and consequences of staying where they are and doing nothing. And you don't want to create pressure, but you do want to create some clarity. And hopefully that clarity will drive them to make a decision that is good for them, good for their business, good for their lives. Um, so I think that's another big one.
I've
And
never
then
heard
the
that
last,
before. That makes total sense. I've never heard that before, but I love that.
well, we all get really comfortable with what we
Yeah.
have, right? We've got a system, and in the world that I'm in today, that system frequently is we talk to companies that are on, it's pencil and paper, it's spreadsheets and whiteboards. It's the way we ran businesses, 20 years ago or more, and they're comfortable with it, right? They understand it, and they don't, necessarily embrace technology. Um, so we see that quite a lot, and
Mm.
so me having been on these platforms, it's trying to help provide some of that clarity so they can make that decision based on trust.
Sure.
And I think that the last piece I had was discipline. That discipline is the ultimate competitive advantage. And you probably hear this a lot in sport, right? Um, that hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle would be one of the things that they say in sports. And in sales, it's the same thing. It's rarely about talent. It's about consistency. It's showing up every day with your time blocked and your bottle of Gatorade and your power bar, and you're just ready to make your phone calls. And it's just like exercise, the fundamentals of work. Like the challenge is doing them repeatedly every day. Um, if you want to get strong, you go to the gym every day. Same thing with sales. If you want to get better, you want to win, you just have to be consistent about prospecting. There's a book by Jeb Blunt called Fanatical Prospecting. That is just fabulous. I'm sure you read. I know you're a deep reader especially based on your background behind you. And yes,
I've got that book right behind me.
yeah, it's fabulous. And we used it for training at Landcare quite a bit. It's a really good one. So, and Jeb Blunt, he's got a ton of videos on the web, and that's one of his things. It's the pipe is life, pipeline is life. So, um, anyway, that's the difference between top performers and average performers. It's all in the execution and the discipline. So, those are
That's really, really, really awesome advice, especially for salespeople who are, like you say, everybody should be selling, and that's great. Those 5 tips are great advice for anybody in the landscaping business for sure. And I'm so happy that you've been able to spend a few minutes with us, Bill.
it's been my pleasure, Ed.
That's great. So this is Head Harvester Ed Laflamme, and we're hoping that you will think about these 5 areas if you're a salesperson, because if you use these 5, like Bill just talked about, it's going to really help you harvest your potential. We'll see you next time.